There will come a night when you'll sit alone in the dark and feel the weight of every choice you've made. The air will be still, the world quiet, and your heart loud. You'll ask yourself what it all meant. The pain, the struggle, the moments you thought you'd never make it through. And in that silence, you'll hear something faint, a whisper from within, not of despair, but of awakening. You were never meant to be untouched by pain. You were meant to be transformed by it. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." You see, life was never trying to break you. It was trying to show you what you are made of. Every disappointment, every heartbreak, every fall was not punishment, but preparation. You have been tempered by the fires you cursed. You have been forged in moments that no one saw. You have grown in silence, and the silence has been your greatest teacher. Pain is not your enemy. It is the sculptor of your soul. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." So when life crushes you, when it strips away your illusions, when it leaves you bare and trembling, it is not cruelty, it is truth. And truth always hurts before it heals. The world will not grant you peace. The world will test you endlessly. But peace is not found in the world. It is found in mastery over yourself. You cannot control what happens, but you can control how you meet it. You can meet pain with patience, loss with understanding, chaos with calm. Epictetus said, "We suffer not from the things themselves, but from our judgment about those things." What if you stopped judging your life as unfair? What if you stopped seeing struggle as misfortune? What if you began to see it all as the path? Your path to strength, to wisdom, to stillness? There is a power that lives quietly inside you, unshaken, unmoved, unbreakable. But it reveals itself only when everything else is stripped away. The world takes from you to show you what cannot be taken. It burns your walls to show you what stands after the fire. It humbles you so you can rise without arrogance. The wise man does not curse the storm. He learns to walk through it with grace. You must do the same. When your heart aches, stay. When your mind screams, breathe. When you want to give up, listen. There is meaning hidden in your suffering, a lesson cloaked in your despair, a quiet truth waiting to be heard. You are not lost. You are simply being refined. The Stoics never promised an easy life. They promised an invincible spirit, and that spirit lives in you. Beneath the noise, beneath the doubt, beneath the exhaustion, you have walked through nights that tried to end you, but you are still here, still breathing, still standing. And that is no small miracle. The world does not need your perfection. It needs your endurance, your courage, your calm, because calm is rare. And in a world of noise, the one who remains still becomes unshakable. So be still, not lifeless, but grounded. Be still like the mountain, unmoved by wind, unshaken by storm. The mountain does not chase peace. It becomes peace. And so can you. The journey ahead is long. There will be more pain, more loss, more moments that test your soul. But if you can remember this, that nothing external has power over your mind, then no storm can destroy you. You will walk through life not untouched by suffering, but undefeated by it. You will rise, not because the world became kind, but because you became stronger than the world. And in that strength, you will find something deeper than happiness. You will find peace, the kind of peace that cannot be given and cannot be taken. A peace born not from escape, but from mastery, not from running, but from remaining. And one day, when the storms return, you will smile quietly, for you will know you have faced the fire before, and the fire only made you shine. There will come a morning after the storm. A strange quiet will fill the air. You'll look around, and the ruins of what once was will no longer frighten you, because you will see it then, that even in destruction there is renewal. Even in endings there is life beginning again. You will understand that nothing was taken from you, only returned to silence. And in that silence, you'll rediscover yourself. The one who survived, the one who stayed, the one who kept walking when every part of you wanted to stop. This is the soul of a Stoic, not cold, not unfeeling, but unbroken. The Stoic does not numb himself to pain. He feels it completely. He just does not bow to it. You are not asked to feel less. You are asked to understand more. When grief comes, let it sit with you. When anger rises, breathe through it. When fear whispers, listen, but do not obey. The mind is your kingdom. If you lose it, you lose everything. But if you master it, nothing, not even death, can enslave you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You have been chasing the world, trying to bend it to your will, trying to make it fair, to make it gentle, to make it love you back. But the world was never yours to control. Only your response to it was. And the moment you stop fighting what you cannot change, you will discover an immense calm, a stillness deeper than thought. It's not surrender, it's acceptance. It's wisdom disguised as peace. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And he was right. Your mind builds storms that never existed. It carries ghosts long after they're gone. It repeats wounds that have already healed. But when you bring yourself back, here now, the suffering softens, the weight lifts, and life, in all its imperfection, becomes enough. You will begin to see beauty in what once hurt you. You will begin to thank the pain for shaping you. You will begin to love the scars, because they remind you, you have lived. And in living, you have learned what peace truly means. It's not the absence of pain. It's the presence of strength. You are not who you were yesterday. You are the result of every fall, every rise, every quiet decision to keep going. You have been reforged in moments that no one applauded. You have become your own savior, your own guide, your own philosopher. And now, when you walk through the world, you carry a calm that others can feel. They won't know what you've been through. They'll only feel the stillness in your presence, the quiet power in your words. That's the mark of someone who has met himself and returned whole. The Stoics did not seek fame. They sought mastery over their tempers, their desires, their fears. Mastery is not loud. It is steady. It is patient. It is earned in 1,000 moments of restraint. To be unshaken, that is the goal. Not untouched by life, but unmoved by its chaos. So when the next storm comes, and it will, do not resist it. Stand in it. Feel the rain. Let it cleanse what no longer serves you. You are not the storm. You are the mountain beneath it. And the mountain never bows. There will come a point when you no longer run from pain. When you stop chasing peace like a shadow and finally realize it was within you the entire time. It's a quiet realization, not a burst of light, but a deep, calm understanding. You'll look at the wounds that once defined you, and you'll see them differently. Not as curses, but as teachers. Each heartbreak, each loss, each silent night of despair, all of it was guiding you home. Home, not to a place, but to a state of being, to that still center inside you, where no chaos can reach. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And freedom, true freedom, is not the absence of chains. It's the absence of need. The need for control, the need for validation, the need for life to go your way. When you release that need, you become untouchable. You stop begging the world to be gentle, because you've learned how to stand in the storm. You stop chasing happiness, because you've found contentment in simply existing. The Stoics never taught us to be emotionless. They taught us to feel, but to remain in command while feeling, to love deeply, but without attachment, to work hard, but without desperation, to hope, but without illusion. There is power in that balance, power in being both soft and strong. You have seen what blind rage can do. You have seen how fear poisons thought, how desire chains the soul. But when you begin to master yourself, the fog clears. You start to see reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. And that clarity, that simple, honest seeing, is liberation. It is the kind of strength that does not roar. It does not seek attention. It simply is. The calm gaze, the measured breath, the unspoken confidence that says, "I have already faced worse than this." And when others crumble, you will remain still, not because you feel nothing, but because you understand everything. You'll see anger in others and meet it with patience. You'll see cruelty and answer with composure. You'll see chaos and become its opposite. This is mastery, not of the world, but of the self. And when you master yourself, you master your destiny. For fate can touch your body, but it cannot command your mind. You will walk through fire, and the fire will no longer frighten you, because you'll know you are not the burning wood. You are the flame itself. Your purpose is not to avoid suffering. Your purpose is to transform through it, to rise each time stronger, wiser, quieter. The Stoic path is not easy. It demands discipline. It demands stillness in motion, grace in struggle, faith without promises. But if you stay the course, if you choose composure over panic, gratitude over grief, virtue over comfort. You will know peace that no one can disturb. And when life tries to shake you, you will smile gently because you finally understand everything that happens for your awakening. Everything that breaks you is carving you into something greater, and everything that ends makes space for what was always meant to begin. One day you'll awaken and realize you no longer crave the noise, the applause, the validation, the endless chase for meaning outside yourself. You'll sit quietly, feeling the sun on your skin, and that alone will be enough. You will have become the person you once sought in others, the one who doesn't run from solitude, but welcomes it, who doesn't fear endings, but understands they are beginnings in disguise, because now you've lived enough to see that everything passes, every joy, every sorrow, every breath, everything. Marcus Aurelius whispered to himself. Soon you will have forgotten everything. Soon everyone will have forgotten you. At first those words sound dark, but they're not. They're freedom, because when you truly grasp how temporary everything is, you stop clinging. You stop trying to make life permanent. You start living instead. Each moment becomes sacred, because you know it will never come again. You stop rushing. You stop resenting. You stop fearing loss, because you've already made peace with impermanence. And in that surrender, you discover serenity. You begin to act not for reward, but because action itself is virtue. You begin to love not for return, but because love itself is strength. You begin to live, not to be remembered, but to be awake. This is the Stoic life, not detached, but devoted, not cold, but clear. You feel deeply, but you are not consumed. You care fiercely, but you do not cling. You walk among men, but you are ruled by no man's praise or blame. Because you've learned what most never do. No one can harm a good man, for his goodness comes from within, and your goodness, your calm, your integrity, your self-mastery is no longer negotiable. You no longer waste your energy on what others think of you. You guard your peace like a sacred fire. There will still be days when your faith trembles, when your heart aches, when the old fears whisper again. That's okay. Even the Stoics bled. Even the wise wept. But they did not drown. And neither will you. When pain returns, you'll greet it like an old teacher. You'll say, "Welcome back. What lesson do you bring this time?" Because now you know. The pain doesn't come to punish you. It comes to remind you of your strength, your patience, your will. Every trial is an invitation to practice your virtue, to live your philosophy, not just speak it. When life is kind, be humble. When life is cruel, be steadfast. Either way, remain the same. Let your soul be like the ocean, calm on the surface, and deeper than anyone can see. You have come far, further than you realize, and though the path ahead stretches endlessly, you are no longer walking in darkness. You are walking in truth. The truth that nothing can break you, because you have stopped running from yourself, and in that stillness, you have found something eternal, not in the world, not in time, but in you, a quiet, unshakable peace, the peace of a soul that has learned to be its own master. And then, there comes the final understanding. Not sudden, not loud, but soft, like dawn after a long night. You realize there was never anything to fight against, not the pain, not the loss, not even fate itself, because everything that came to you came to shape you, to awaken the parts of you that only suffering could reveal. You see now how every fall was a lesson in humility, how every delay was a lesson in patience, how every heartbreak was a lesson in love. Not love for another, but love for what remains when all else fades, and you begin to forgive, not just others, but yourself, for the years you wasted chasing shadows, for the times you broke your own heart, for the moments you forgot your worth. Forgive it all, because you see now, you were never meant to be perfect. You were meant to become whole, and wholeness comes not from adding, but from accepting. You stop wishing for an easier past. You stop fearing the uncertain future, and in the simple rhythm of breath, you finally arrive. Here, this moment, this quiet pulse of life, it is enough. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will always look." That source is what you've touched now. The eternal within the fleeting, the stillness within the storm. You are no longer pulled by every emotion, no longer driven by every desire, no longer haunted by what could have been. You move through the world lightly, as one who has seen through the illusion. You understand that people come and go, that love blooms and fades, that fortune rises and falls, and yet you remain, not out of stubbornness, but out of peace, because nothing that truly belongs to you can ever be taken. Your virtue, your courage, your character, your calm, these are your treasures, untouched by time, unmoved by fate, and so you live with quiet purpose. You work, not for reward, but from love of doing. You speak not to impress, but to express truth. You help, not for recognition, but from compassion. Every act becomes sacred when done with awareness. Every breath becomes a prayer. You have become what the Stoics described, a soul in harmony with nature, not above the world, but aligned with it. You no longer curse the rain. You walk beneath it. You no longer fear the night. You rest within it. You no longer demand life to be different. You meet it as it is, and in that meeting, you find God, not in temples, not in stars, but in the still clear mirror of your own mind. Seneca said, "To be calm is the highest achievement of the self." You have reached that place, not through conquest, but through surrender. The kind of surrender that is not defeat, but deep acceptance. The kind that says, "I will no longer resist what is. I will live fully as life unfolds." And so the journey ends where it began, in silence. The same silence that once terrified you, now comforts you. Because now, you know it holds everything. It is the space where truth lives, where peace breathes, where you finally understand you were never broken, you were always becoming, and the becoming never ends. Each dawn another chance, each breath another beginning, each moment another reminder that you, calm, conscious, unshaken, are already whole. One day you will stand beneath the same sky you once begged answers from, and you will not ask anymore. You will simply look up, feel the wind, and understand that life was never a puzzle to solve. It was a rhythm to be lived. Every sorrow, every joy, every ordinary breath was part of the same great song. And you were not the listener. You were the music. The Stoics spoke often of death, not to frighten, but to free. Memento mori, remember, you will die. It sounds harsh until you see the mercy in it. For when you truly remember your mortality, you stop wasting time. You stop pretending this will last forever. You begin to live, not tomorrow, not someday, now. You start saying what needs to be said. You forgive without waiting for apology. You let go of what poisons your heart. You stop performing and start being, because what remains when time takes everything is what was always real. Your kindness, your integrity, your stillness. No empire survives forever. No name echoes endlessly. Even the stars will burn out someday. But virtue is eternal. It's the flame that passes quietly from one life to another, lighting hearts long after yours stops beating. Seneca said, "Life is long if you know how to use it." And you have learned to use it well. You no longer measure your worth in achievements, but in presence. Not in how much you possess, but how deeply you appreciate. Each day has become sacred, each gesture intentional. You live as if you might die tomorrow, but you love as if you'll live forever. That balance, that grace, is what makes a soul immortal. And when your final day comes, when breath slows and silence returns, you will not tremble. You will smile, as one who has understood, because death cannot take from you what was never bound to flesh. It cannot touch your peace, your wisdom, your love. These belong to eternity, and eternity is already within you. So when that last moment arrives, you will not cling. You will not beg for more time. You will simply breathe and say, "It was enough." Because you will have lived fully. You will have loved deeply. You will have mastered the only kingdom that mattered, yourself. And as the light fades, you will return to the same silence you came from. But this time, you will recognize it. It will no longer feel empty. It will feel like home. The Stoics were right. The goal was never to escape life, but to live it rightly, to walk it with honor, to meet it with courage, to leave it with peace. And you have done that. Your legacy will not be built of monuments or titles. It will live in the quiet strength you leave behind, in the way others breathe easier, because you once walked beside them, in the calm you carried when the world was on fire. That calm, that unshakable grace, will outlast everything, because it was never borrowed. It was grown. It was earned. It was you. And so, as the story closes, as the final hour of this journey fades into stillness, one truth remains: nothing in this life was ever yours to keep.